Fair and Farmers Market Committee meeting. It is 5:10 on Tuesday, July 7th. And we're going to do roll call real quick by raising hands. If you are on the Codes Fair and Farmers Market Committee, if you will use the raise hand button, then I can see who from the Codes Committee is here. I see, let's see, Councilmember Swope. Trying a new system here, guys. Hang with me. Swope, Cash, Young, and myself. Check again. Councilmember Johnston, got you. And I think that's everybody. Councilmember Withers, I see you on here, but I don't know if you're still here.
Hancock is still here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha, Tanya. Thank you. All right, great. Okay, so we're going to make this motion. I need somebody to make the motion pursuant to the Governor Lee's Executive Order number 16 regarding electronic meetings as extended by Executive Orders number 34 and 51. I make a motion that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Perfect. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Hearing none. All right, we're on to our one agenda item. This is bills on second reading. Bill 2020-300 by Councilmembers Benedict, Bradford, and Henderson. This amends Chapter 9.30 of the Metro Code to restrict construction noise between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. I'll make a motion to get it before us. Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilmember Benedict, I see you on here. Would you like to explain your bill?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. So this is something that in my district has where we have a lot of construction, especially in South Englewood, but throughout the district. It came to my attention that our current hours of work that we allow in residential neighborhoods are from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And it seemed logical to me, and based on other municipalities, it seemed logical to shorten those hours to make it more respectful in residential neighborhoods, which is what this bill it only touches, to make that a bit more friendly for the community and within our neighborhoods, so that we don't have disruption until 9 p.m. at night on a regular basis. So the bill is set to, again, it's specifically, I think there's been some question about what it will hit. In fact, I had some questions about it, but it is specifically for residentially zoned property and the properties on either side of those two properties. And I ask for certainly any other questions that the committee has, and I hope to have your approval to move it.
Great, thank you, council member. All right, members of the committee, if I'll ask you, I've got 4 people who've got hands up. Just make sure that your hand is for the question. And then I think the first hand I saw was actually council member Johnston. Do you want to go first, council member?
Sure, I just wanted to, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to see if there was any sort of study that was done, or if this was just, we felt like that 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. was something that just made sense, or was there any sort of analysis done by anybody that you felt like that was justified? Like, I'm just trying to figure out why those specific hours. I hope I'm asking that right.
Yeah, so some of the, I'll have to, and my apologies that I am not prepared to answer the 7 p.m. piece, but there is other legislation that we have that ends at 7 p.m. And also, actually, we've got a bill up tonight, whether it gets approved or not, who knows, but 7 p.m. was the cutoff on that as well for customer visits. That I don't want to make this about the home-based business bill that's up in front of us tonight, but that was also 7 p.m. But when you look around the other municipalities throughout the country, it's just a more friendly, time period for homeowners. And again, if this would have affected commercial properties, I think we need to approach that differently. And in fact, I had a lot of dialogue about commercial properties. You know, I certainly don't want to get in the way of anybody being able to do good development in Nashville. So it's important for me also that we protect our neighborhoods. But that, to get back to your question, that is something that is a time frame around the country, and it just seems reasonable to me that it be 7, to 7 as well. Well, there was no specific study done, though, to answer your question.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you, council members. I will go. We have a lot of hands out. Let me go to Vice Chair Withers. Vice Chair Withers. Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and appreciate the sponsor bringing this issue. Having served on the Metro Council in East Nashville for 5 years, our constituents are very opinionated. And when a construction project is going next door, they will definitely reach out to you to let you know that their sleep in the morning, in particular, has been disrupted. I definitely hear that a lot. I think this is a good start of a conversation. And I think that a little bit more work is needed on this one. I appreciate the effort to sort of reduce it to residential. One of the things, though, about it, like my dad worked construction as a kid. And so, when I was growing up, when your house is built, like you think everything needs to be done. That's the way we are as humans. When the house next door is being built, you think it's too long, too loud. However, if that house being built next door or a renovation is being done is your house, you want to get it done as quickly as you can. And so in East Nashville, we have so many home builders, local neighborhood home builders that work on houses. I would just like our committee, if we can, what I would recommend maybe is just doing a little bit more study on that to see how that would affect timeframes for getting stuff done, costs, particularly as it pertains to home projects, because a lot of times a house construction project, people really, those are small people with a tight timeline. And I know with Councilmember Benedict having so many connections to the real estate industry in particular, I really feel like you could bring a lot of value to this committee if we did a little bit more research on the home builders per se, to see how that would affect some projects. Also, again, and I appreciate somewhat limiting it to residential. We do have in East Nashville, as you know, a lot of projects that are being built adjacent to residential zoning, such as the Publix that's being built behind my house. It's a little disruptive to have it at 6 in the morning, but I know my neighbors want that Publix done as quickly as they can. So that adjacency issue might be something to think about as well. I appreciate Councilmember Benedict for bringing this forward. I just feel like maybe a little bit more work is needed. And in particular, the ones that I'm really concerned about are actually the home builders and home renovators, just to make sure we're not tying people up for longer periods of time than they need to get into their house or to get their renovations done. So I would appreciate a deferral and think Councilmember Bennett would do a great job of bringing those resources together with our local home builders and realtors, just to think through that a little bit more and make sure that we're not that we're helping our neighborhoods and balancing that with the needs of folks to get their houses done or the roof on or whatever.
Benedict.
Can I give one clarification, Chair?
Yeah, go for it.
Thanks. So I just want to touch base on the Publix property, that anything that's zoned OR or anything else. So if that were zoned R or RS, then it would be subject to the 7A to 7P, but the property itself, I believe, isn't zoned R. I'm not sure about that particular parcel, but I believe it's not. And so this would not impact that. I certainly don't want to impact commercial or any large development that, again, if it's not disrupting the neighbor next door, the person who's living quietly in their home, then, that's where this bill is headed. And that's, as I understand it, that's the way it's written. I have had a lot of conversation with a couple of folks that represent builders. And when I shared with them that this was specific to residential, their concerns were, for the most part, alleviated. However, I certainly am open to doing additional research. I appreciate the feedback.
This is Councilmember Withers. I mean, with the Publix project, just as one example, but that's a multi-parcel property, and most of the parcels that are adjacent to residential actually had our zoning, and we overdid that with an SP. But again, you know, that the properties next door to that are residential, and so so that's kind of it. Like if the question is it bothering the resident next door, whom I hear from a lot from, on all sorts of things. It's a great neighbor, but very engaged, as are many of our neighbors. I just want to make sure we think through that a little bit more. So, you know, again, I think that you've really brought a great bill that we do hear a lot about in terms of construction hours. I just want to make really, really sure that we're not affecting homeowners in particular with their costs and their timelines to get into their house, or especially these days to get a roof on or something like that. So I think just a very brief deferral with a little bit more outreach to those kind of home builders in particular, especially the ones even that are active in our neighborhood that we know a lot, just to get feedback on that, like realistically how that would affect them. I think that would really improve the bill.
Thanks, Al. I'm going to go to just real quick to legal counsel about, because I do think there's a question about neighboring properties. John, can you clarify on what this bill would apply to?
Yeah, so the provision that's being amended in the construction noise ordinance code section applies to properties that are located within or adjoining a residentially zoned district.
Okay, so if you had a commercial property that was directly adjacent to a residential district, that would fall under this bill?
That's correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. Okay, members, before we go on, I know several people have hands up. We are running late on committees, and so if we get the sense that there's maybe a desire to work a little more on this, and I concur with what other members have been saying about, yes, this is needed, but maybe we want to see more work. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. If we start going down the same road with several comments, I may make a motion on that. So I just want to make people aware of that. So Councilmember Young, your hand was up next.
I apologize.
Oh, you're good? Okay, cool. Councilmember Cash, I saw you up as well. Councilmember Cash.
No, sorry, that was for when you were doing roll. Sorry.
Oh, look how easy this is. Okay, great. Councilmember Swope.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move that we defer this particular action for 2 meetings.
Okay, that is a proper motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all right. We're on a deferral motion for 2 meetings. I'm going to go back to the sponsor on that deferral motion to see if she has any comments or requests of the committee.
Or thank you, Chair. I'm okay with a 2-meeting deferral. What I would like to know from the colleagues, what I was hoping to do a little bit today, and I completely appreciate we're behind schedule here, just to understand what questions the committee has. I don't know if that's something that can be gathered to make sure that I address all of those in advance of coming back before you. You know, I'll certainly do some homework and get a letter out to the council. And I do have some notes, but I want to make sure that that I address all of the committee's concerns and certainly the body concerns as well. So I would just respectfully request that any of those questions, if they could be sent through the council office, I'd love that the opportunity to answer those. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you for bringing this. All right. Does anybody else want to speak on the deferral motion? Councilmember Poley, I see your hand up.
Yeah, just very briefly, if we're going to defer a couple meetings, which I support, can we, as a committee or as you as the committee chair, just urge Public Works or some department to conduct the kind of study that we're looking at in terms of the impact of this bill? You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is what kind of impact, if we're going into neighborhood areas. I do support the thought of Councilmember Benedict and what she's trying to do here. So as a neighbor, is it going to extend the duration of time I've got to deal with all this stuff if I reduce their hours by the amount of hours? So the kind of study that would get to the answers to questions that people are asking, can we ask one of the agencies to really walk us through that in that short time period? Or what are your thoughts about that? I'll defer to you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Poley. Yes, I'd be more than happy to work with the sponsor and legal counsel and codes and us to make sure we all are operating appropriately and transparently and getting the best possible bill here. So yeah, I would commit to the chair. I commit to the sponsor that I do that. All right. Anybody else on the deferral motion? Councilmember Swope, I see your hand still up.
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay, great. All right. If everybody will clear your hands off because we're about to ask for a vote on the deferral motion. So we have a motion for a 2-meeting deferral. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. All right, I've got 6 in favor. Everybody put those down. Anybody wanting to vote against the deferral motion? Councilmember Pulley, I think your hand's still up. Councilmember Pulley, you voting against the deferral motion? You might be muted. Okay, his hand's down. Okay. All right, anybody abstaining, raise your hand. All right, we've got nobody there. So we've got 6-4-0 against to defer 2 meetings. All right, I appreciate everybody having a very solid conversation on this. We'll continue the work. Thank you, Councilmember Benedict, for bringing the legislation. With that, the Codes Fair and Farmers Market Committee has come to a close, and we'll turn it over to the next committee.
And with that, public safety is about to start. I'll do the countdown on that right now so we can get